Hey everyone, it's me, your favorite mission girl, wannabe Jedi, pop culture nerd, and resident Disney geek, Caitlin. It's time for another edition of Mission Girl Pop Culture News. The quick little blip where I pop up and talk about things I notice in pop culture or just general world events over the past weeks and how I feel about them. So let's get started. It's going to be short this week, and there are a couple little programming notes, but don't worry, nothing too major. But first off, let's talk about, I don't want to say the elephant in the room because this has been going on for almost 2 years, I feel like. In fact, I feel like it's been going on forever. At long last, this Tuesday, November 8th, Americans like me who have not voted early and are not absentee voters will be heading to the polls bright and early to cast our vote for who we think should be the next leader of the United States of America. This election has been I'm trying to think of a way to phrase this politely since I try to be nice and I want everybody to be happy and I want to think the best of everybody. This election has been this election has been like a recess rumble between two bullies on a playground. That's what I'm sticking with. Basically, we have two bullies going at it to see who can be the leader of millions of people. And neither one of them is all that great. Granted, I am going to vote for Clinton because I have said it because Trump just scares me too much. And at church today, our pastor made a good point about idol worship, and my mom immediately linked that to Trump, so, okay. But this election will be over in just like 2 or 3 days, so we just have to bear it for a little bit more, unless Trump decides to contest the election results, in which case we may be hearing about this for many more weeks to come. But still, just focus on the positive. It's almost time to go and vote. And when I say go vote, I literally mean get out there and vote. This is like one of those elections where every last vote counts. Okay, and I know we have the Electoral College, but still, get out there and vote. This is your chance to make your voice heard. Okay, so our vote, like I said, doesn't count because we have this thing called the Electoral College, which basically is what chooses president. But still, the popular vote says a lot about the American people. So let's get out there and let our voices be heard and be loud and be strong, okay? This is our country, and we totally have a right to tell people, to tell our leaders how we want to live and how we want the rules to be. So, let's not forget what it says in the Constitution or Declaration of Independence. I think it's the Constitution. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Oh, wait, I think that's the Declaration. I don't remember. I'm sorry, my American history went out the window when I finished school. But still, I am proud to be an American, so I am going out and voting bright and early Tuesday morning with my mom and hopefully my brother, and I'm super excited. This will be my it should be my third presidential election because I turned 18 in 2006, so yeah, it should be like my third or fourth. Yeah, I think it's my third presidential election because I think the first one my first one was for Barack, so this is I think my third presidential election, so yay. I'm going out and voting, and I'm super excited. I know who I'm voting for. And, yeah, I cannot wait to go out and vote. And what will be, will be. I'm trying not to let myself think too much into the future. I'm supposed to live in the here and now and let the future take care of itself and trust that God knows what he's doing. So, anyway, the election is Tuesday. Get out there and vote and make your voices heard, okay? Let's remind all those politicians that the real power does not lie in them, it lies in us. Even though it might not seem like it sometimes, we do hold the power, so get out there and vote. That's enough with the world news view. Let's turn our attention to what I do best, which is spouting my rambling opinions on pop culture. Now, I was super excited. I had Wednesday night off, and I could not wait to see the latest episode of Criminal Minds after Garcia discovered that Roxy, Alvaz's one and only girl, wasn't a girl of the human variety. Roxy was a girl of the four-legged furry variety. And oh my gosh, Roxy is like one of the cutest dogs ever. And I hope we see a lot more of her. Morgan apparently had a dog, and I know for sure Rossi had a dog because we did see Mudgy in like the first episode Rossi ever appeared in. But other than that, it's like the Rossi and Morgan's dogs were like never around. So I really, really, really hope we see Roxy more, especially since Garcia has kind of gone Roxy cute. So I really, 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 really want to see more Roxy. I was like, Elvis, cool. I want more dog, because I'm such an animal lover. So I'm really excited. But yeah, last week we were supposed to have an all-new episode of Criminal Minds. It was supposed to be really good. And then the World Series went into basically overtime, was what I'm calling it, because we went, I think it was like Game 7 of the World Series between the Cubs and the Cleveland, the team from that way, the team from Cleveland. Yeah, I think it was the Cleveland Indians. And of course, apparently they were still going to air Criminal Minds. They were still going to do it. And then apparently CBS changed their mind because they pulled the new episodes of Criminal Minds and the other shows they were showing at that same time. And so did NBC, oddly enough. NBC pulled all its shows that were like Law and Order, SVU, and all their new shows that were going to air Wednesday night. They pulled them so they wouldn't be up against the World Series. Which, by the way, congratulations, Chicago Cubs. Congratulations to the Cubs. You guys won the World Series. Yay, after 108 years. Guess what? You guys finally got a pennant, so congratulations. And next year, it will be my Detroit Tigers sitting there winning the World Series. There's never such a thing as too much confidence in your team. So congrats to the Cubs. Awesome win. I just really wish you hadn't gone to Game 7, because then I could have seen the new episode of Criminal Minds. That new episode of Criminal Minds is scheduled to actually air this Wednesday, and my chances of getting to see it are next to nil since I work 2 closing shifts tomorrow and Wednesday. Which brings me to my next topic, Supergirl and Once Upon a Time. I have not been watching Supergirl, and you're probably going, why? Well, 1, I sometimes forget, and 2, it seems like every Monday, I have been closing almost every night. So my store closes at 9, and Supergirl is actually on at 8, so there's no way I can catch Supergirl. And then I know I can go to CW and watch it online, which I will probably do at some point, but then I have like a bazillion other things I need to do. So I never actually watch the episode. So I haven't seen Supergirl lately. I need to catch up, especially since it was supposed to be a really good season. Also, I have not been watching Once Upon a Time. And this one I really have no good excuse for, except that Hallmark Channel is airing Christmas movies, and they air a new one every Sunday night at 8. So, right now my allegiance is currently to the Christmas movies and not to Once Upon a Time. That being said, I still know what's going on in Once Upon a Time. Last week's episode featured Captain Nemo from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and the return of Killian, aka Captain Hook's brother Liam. I am sorry, can I just say how thrilled I am? They have 2 characters named Killian and Liam, which are like Irish. These are pretty much names from Ireland, Celtic. I'm so happy to see that because I myself am Irish, Scottish, which is basically just Celtic. So and my own name, Caitlin, is actually from the same area as Killian and Liam. So it's like, yes! It'd be so cool if they brought a character on the show named Caitlin and spelled it the way you spell my name, but I digress. Still, it's really cool having characters named Liam and Killian on that show. But Captain Nemo, and turns out Liam's actually alive. Okay, I did not know that. Spoiler. Also, we see what happens with the shears that Hook did not destroy. But without ruining it, I will now say they were also not destroyed again after Henry and Hook tossed them into the sea to destroy them. By the way, that was really cute seeing Hook and Henry bonding together. I definitely think Hook really wants to step up and be that male role figure in Henry's life. Okay, let's not forget he has David, aka Prince Charming, his grandpa, and then he has his other grandpa, Rumple. Well, less said about Rumple, the better. And David kind of has his hands full. He's also pretty much running the town alongside Emma, Snow, and Regina, and might not have the time he needs to devote himself to his grandson, who is actually young enough to be his son, so old enough to be his son. Anyway, so I think it's really sweet that Hook is stepping in and wants to be like this role model for Henry, and I think it really devastates him when Henry gets so mad at him for him lying to his mom, lying to Emma. So it's really sweet, but the shears, which they thought they destroyed, they did not destroy. They're in evil hands, not telling you who. You can probably figure it out. But once again, these are episodes I need to actually go catch up on because I've basically just been reading the summaries online. Shh, don't tell anyone my secret. But yeah, I need to catch up on those, and it would be easy if my on-demand worked on my cable box, which it doesn't, so I have to find somewhere else, but hopefully eventually I will get all caught up on Supergirl and Once Upon a Time. But until then, Christmas. And tonight, Hallmark Channel is airing a really cool Christmas movie I can't wait to see. It's called A Perfect Christmas. And the basic plot is this newlywed couple tries to combine their families for the first time ever at Christmas. And not going so well. So I can't wait to see it because it definitely is like, wow. I remember being little and having to go either my mom's side of the family did something and my dad's side of the family did something. So it would go like to my aunt's house or my grandma's house. And it was like two very different things because at my aunt's house, it was all like, oh, it was nice. It was fun. It was subdued. And my grandma's house was like, ah, running, kids screaming everywhere. It's like, oh my gosh. So, yeah. So I definitely know what it's like to have Christmas with families two different families who celebrate in totally different ways. So I cannot wait to see A Perfect Christmas to see how this couple tries to blend together their family traditions. So it sounds really cool. That is on at 8 o'clock tonight on Hallmark Channel. And every Saturday and Sunday at 8 o'clock, Hallmark Channel is airing new Christmas movies. And during Thanksgiving, don't miss the very special Thanksgiving movie celebration starting the night before Thanksgiving. Starting the night before Thanksgiving, Hallmark will also air new Christmas movies. That's a lot of Christmas movies. I think this year there's like 19 or something, and that's a lot. So, yay! I'm so happy. I can't wait. And Lori Loughlin, her Hallmark Christmas Channel movie comes out this Saturday entitled, I don't remember what it's titled, but it's really cool. So I can't wait. And she's one of my favorite. I have to say my all-time favorite Hallmark Christmas movies, I actually have two of them on DVD. I loved North Pole, and I love North Pole Open for Business, a sequel. I also like the ones like A Crown for Christmas, Princess for Christmas. I love those. It's really sweet. I love Hallmark Channel. It's an awesome thing. And speaking of Hallmark, I got the cutest sign yesterday at our local Hallmark store at the mall. It says, "This house is under elf surveillance." It was either that one or a sign that said, "The elf made me do it," which I think was a little too far because I do consider myself at Christmas to be half elf. So, yay. So, definitely, if you need a break from witches and magic, definitely check out Hallmark Channel for the countdown to Christmas. I'm so excited. I love Christmas. Anyway, let's move on to RWBY really quickly. RWBY aired the second episode of season 4 last week, and I watched it yesterday because I watched it a week later on YouTube. This episode was titled Remembrance, and for the first time, we get to see someone other than Ruby from Team RWBY. The first episode was really focused all on Ruby and her new life with the remaining members of Team Juniper, Jean, Ren, and Nora, and them on their quest to, I think they're going to Haven. In their quest to help rebuild Beacon and bring back together the members of Team RWBY. At the end of that first episode, we did see Wiess, who is currently living with her family back in Atlas. And remember, a little backstory, Wiess is Wiess Snee. She is the daughter of the head of the Snee Corporation, which pretty much makes billions of dollars in this thing called dust, which helps hunters and huntresses be better, stronger, faster, what have you. So Wiess is back at home, and it's clear that she's not enjoying it. Her dad definitely has everyone under her thumb, and at one point in the episode, she comes across her brother, Wentley, and it's really, her sister's name is Winter, her name is Wiess, and then there's Wentley, and Wentley tells her, oh, their mom is already drinking in the garden. So obviously, this is not a happy home life for Wiess, and it definitely shaped her, I think, to how she was when we first see her as this snobby, cold ice princess character who eventually warms up under RWBY's loving friendship. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think RWBY definitely had an effect on Wiess, and I think RWBY had an effect on all the girls. And I think Wiess was the strongest, because I think Wiess changed the most throughout the first 3 volumes of RWBY. And now she's back in this really cold, kind of distant environment that shaped her into that ice princess that we saw at the start of RWBY. So it's going to be really weird, really interesting to see how Wiess changes, being away from RWBY's influence and the influence of the other girls, and back under the hard, cold influence of her dad, who I did not like at all. From the moment he opened his mouth, I just saw him and I went, no, I don't like him. He is definitely very cold, and he is more interested in appearances and making money. And he basically bullies Wiess into doing a performance at a charity event so he can remind people that his daughter was at Beacon when it fell and she saw all the horrible things that were done. And I'm going, really? Wow, you're a jerk. Okay, that's your daughter and you basically ripped her away from her friends who she's come to think of as her family after this really traumatic event, and she doesn't have a clue where her friends are. So, yeah, you're not the dad of the year. So I really don't like Mr. Smee at all. And that was the most of the episode. And then we get to the heartbreaking part, which is where I think the title Remembrance comes from. And it has to do with Jean. Jean, like Ruby, I think, Jean was very much affected by the events of last season, especially with what we know happened to Pyrrha. For those of you who don't know, plug your ears or heed my spoiler alert. Pyrrha died in the season finale of Volume 3 of RWBY. And Jean was devastated, mainly because one of her last acts Pyrrha did was to basically tell Jean she loved him through a kiss, stuffing him in a locker and sending him away so that he would not get hurt. Jean did not have a clue how Pyrrha felt for him at all. I mean, it's clear pretty much from Volume 1 that Pyrrha had really strong feelings for Jean, at least to me. And Jean is kind of clueless until Season 2 when he starts thinking, maybe there's something there. And then Season 3 happens, and he never gets a chance to see if he and Pyrrha can have a relationship because of what happened. So it's really heartbreaking in Remembrance because Ruby wakes up from a nightmare, and prior to this, they were journeying to a town Jean had gone to as a kid. They get to the town, it's absolutely destroyed, and Jean is heartbroken. And he actually says he just wants all this to be over so that he just wishes everything he cared about would stop being ripped from him. You know, his family, who knows where his family is, the girl he realizes he loved, and she loved him in return, but they never got a chance to experience that together, was ripped from him. And now this town where he had so many happy memories of going to as a kid with his family is destroyed, and there are no survivors. So it's like, wow, this bad stuff keeps happening to Jean. And so after that, Ruby wakes up from a dream where Pyrrha is calling for Jean and finds Jean in the woods working on his swordsmanship via lessons from Pyrrha. And I know you're thinking, what, Pyrrha's dead? No, spoiler alert, Pyrrha made a training video on his scroll for him. And every night it appears that he's just been going out to the woods by himself, away from the others, putting it on play and just watching that video over and over and over again. And at the end of the video, Pyrrha almost tells Jean she loves him, and instead says she cares about him and she's proud of him and she's so happy to have met him. And then the video rewinds and it starts all over again with the lesson. So that was really heartbreaking, and it's definitely hammering home what I said last week, that this volume of RWBY is definitely going to be a darker, more intense, more emotionally driven season. You know, the first season was really kind of establishing what the series was about, what exactly Baal was, the kingdoms, Remnant. And then the second season was introducing the bad guys. Here are more of the bad guys. This is what their end goal is. This is what's going on. And then the third volume was where we start to see the plans of the bad guys coming together and seeing just how they're ripping the kingdoms apart. And so I really think the first three volumes were really slowly setting up the different levels, the different stages. And now this fourth season is where it's really going to all come together, and we're going to get that emotional, that mental, that draining feeling you get when you see this really good story that just pulls you in, sucks you in, and basically tears your heart open. A la Twilight of the Apprentice. So it's definitely going to be a really, really interesting season, and I definitely think it's going to be very emotional. So make sure you have tissues handy. Anyway, done with RWBY. Let's leave the darkness behind and go to one of the coolest, most happiest places on the planet, Disney World. Well, not literally. I just have some news from Disney. Doctor Strange has hit the big screens at long last in the Disney Marvel movies release, and apparently is blowing up at the box office. I am curious. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. My brother says he thinks I would love Guardians of the Galaxy, which I have not yet seen, but I will at some point. But apparently Doctor Strange is just doing amazing at the box office, which is kind of a given because it's Benedict Cumberbatch, who is uber cool, by the way. But But Doctor Strange is blowing up at the box office, so Disney, of course, takes this as a sign to haul out a very unique character experience at the Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World in Florida. This is called the Doctor Strange Meet and Greet Experience. Basically, it's like a cool 10-minute little show where Doctor Strange comes out and does like some science magic stuff with the kids. It looks really cool and awesome, and it's very interesting because the video I found, he starts out by picking on a girl who's there, and she's wearing a pair of BB-8 mouse ears. So it's very funny and awesome. So if you're a fan of Doctor Strange and you're heading to Florida, definitely check out the park guides when you go to Disney's Hollywood Studios to see if you can get a chance to see the awesome, amazing, and I don't know, he's just awesome, amazing. Go see if you guys can go check out the Doctor Strange Meet and Greet Experience. Also, they're doing a similar experience, I think, at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood, so go check that out too if you're out on the West Coast. Now, as you know, there's no place better to spend Christmas if you have the money than Disney World in Florida or Disneyland. And of course, Disney World and Disneyland always give the jump start on everybody else for the holiday seasons. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Cinderella Castle has been lit for this season. They had the first castle lighting, I think, on the 4th of November. And as always, it is absolutely a gorgeous affair to see the castle draped in those white lights that look like ice. However, I am missing the original stage show that went with the castle lighting. See, for the past couple of years, they've used Elsa, Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf to do the lighting of the castle by saying Elsa, Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf are visiting from Arendelle for the holidays, and when they see a kingdom that is empty of ice and snow, Anna and Kristoff, Olaf, and the audience convince Elsa to use her frozen fractally ice magic to drape the castle in a sea of ice and snow. It's really cool and uses the new projection system amazingly well and seamlessly flows the projection into the lights itself. It's a really cool experience, but I do miss the original version of the story. In the original version of the story, it was actually Cinderella who comes out with the fairy godmother and the Fab Five, which are Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and I think Daisy or Pluto. But anyway, they come out and they're all talking about how they want to decorate Cinderella Castle for Christmas. Goofy wants to make it like wrapped in presents. Donald wants like gingerbread. They all want different things. But since Mickey points out that since they don't own the castle, they need to ask the person who lives there, which just happens to be Cinderella. Seeing Prince Charming take the stage, and along with when Fairy Godmother comes out and asks what Cinderella wants to decorate the castle, Cinderella replies that her most prized possession is her glass slipper, which simmers and shines like ice. And she would love to see the castle look just like the glass slipper. So, with a little help from the audience, Fairy Godmother bibbidi-bobbidi-booed the castle into a beautiful crystal-like structure that simmered and sparkled with ice, just like Cinderella's glass slipper. While the Frozen version is really cool, and Frozen is still hugely popular, I really do miss his original version with Cinderella. It would be cool if they at least added Cinderella in with the Frozen characters, because it is Cinderella's castle. I mean, shouldn't they be asking her permission before they go ahead and drape it in a blanket of beautiful ice? Maybe next year Disney will change it up a little and add Cinderella, or go back to the original Cinderella version, or maybe do a whole new stage show altogether, all in the vein of the highly popular, surprisingly, Friendship Fair that takes place on the castle stage. They've added a new twist for this holiday season, so go check it out if you're ever down there. Also, make sure you check out the all-new, amazingly awesome, spectacular Cinderella Castle projection show entitled Once Upon a Time. This debuted the same night as the Christmas lighting, so it's awesome and perfect. I absolutely love this, and granted, it's because it has some of my favorite characters from my all-time favorite Disney movie and my all-time favorite fairy tale, Beauty and the Beast. I absolutely love Beauty and the Beast. Like I said, it's one of my favorites, so it was so cool hearing about this projection show and hearing that it was going to feature Mrs. Potts and Chip for one Beauty and the Beast, as well as, and I didn't know it, but the ending segment of the show before the grand finale was one big, huge tribute to Beauty and the Beast, which is only fitting because next year we're getting a live-action version of Beauty and the Beast, and I saw some pictures. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love Lumiere, and I can't wait to hear Ewan McGregor, so it's going to be an awesome movie. It was an absolutely beautiful show. Okay, there was Frozen, and it was so interesting because the video I watched, some of the songs, you could hear audience members singing along, and I admit it, I did too at home. So it's one of those shows where they play songs everybody knows, so everybody sings along. There's nothing more wonderful than hearing complete and total strangers joining in because the song that is playing is a beloved and classic Disney song that resonated with them when they were young and still resonates with so many people today. I highly recommend the projection show, and I like projection shows over the more spectacular fireworks show. I mean, I like fireworks, but fireworks shows can be so over the top at Disney World, and so many fireworks are going off that sometimes with the smoke from all those fireworks, it makes it hard to really see the next fireworks show. So projection show is definitely, I think, a better option for Disney World than an over-the-top fireworks show. They still do fireworks with the projection show, but there's not as much, so the air is clear and it's a lot. I just prefer the projection shows. I think they're awesome. And this means we have one more projection show that's set to debut next Monday at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Will be the premiere of Disney's Hollywood Studios' newest offering for the holidays, the new projection show on Chinese theater entitled Jingle Bells, Jingle Bam. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be amazing. Also, Disney made an announcement, really quick actually. This year, on Thanksgiving at 8 o'clock on ABC, The Wonderful World of Disney is returning. Remember those cool movies they used to air every weekend via Wonderful World of Disney? Well, it's back. Wonderful World of Disney made an appearance this past year for the Diamond Jubilee of Disneyland, and this year it is back for Magic Kingdom Magical Holiday Celebration. Thanksgiving at 8 o'clock, they'll be doing celebrations from around the world for the holidays. I'm kind of wondering if this is taking the place of the traditional Disney Parks Christmas Parade, which has been a tradition for many years. It was one of the first Christmas parades I ever really remember because I loved the Christmas parade. Granted, last year and I think the year before, they kind of changed it and made it more of a show with very little of the parade element remaining from the original. So maybe this holiday celebration will either replace the airing of the parade on Christmas Day, or maybe they'll go back to where they actually aired a parade and not just kind of mini stage shows. So either way, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the celebration is going to be about. So definitely check it out. Thanksgiving at 8 o'clock on ABC, The Wonderful World of Disney Holiday Celebration, which I really think they're just substituting holiday for Christmas so they don't offend anybody. And speaking of Disney and Star Wars, let's head off to Rebels. Booyah. Excuse me. Yeah. Rebels. Last night was the episode I was super excited to hear about. Imperial Super Commandos. I was super excited because, like I say, Sabine is one of my favorite characters. And it was so cool to see her get another Sabine-centric episode. So cool. Sabine is awesome. In this episode, we see Sabine, along with Ezra, Chopper, and Fen Rao, the Protector they captured in the second season, returning to Concord Dawn after the Protector's base, the communications go out. What's going on? Well, they automatically assume the Protectors betrayed the rebellion. Not quite. Actually, it wasn't the Protectors. It was the Imperials, led by this guy named Gar Saxon. He is the Imperial Governor of Mandalore, and he's actually from Clan Vizsla, just like Sabine. In fact, he knows Sabine. Really weird, because Sabine didn't really recognize him. So this guy, Gar Saxon, went from Death Watch to Imperial Governor of Mandalore. Not too much of a jump, but he's a sellout, and that's basically what upsets Fen Rao the most, especially when Fen, who has been blaming Sabine for everything because it's her fault, because if she and the rebels hadn't captured him and dragged him off in chains, he would have been here to protect his men. Well, not quite, as he figures out that even if he hadn't been captured by the rebels, he would have been there and he would have been dead. So, yeah, take that, Fen Rao. So basically, it's really a clash of beliefs as Fen and Sabine have to put their issues aside and work together to save Ezra and Chopper, and Gar Saxon kept threatening to shoot Chopper. That makes me sad. I like Chopper because he's a cat. But kudos, it was really cool, awesome. Sabine got a jetpack finally. I just love at one point she goes, he shot my jetpack, and I'm like, wow. Wow, Mandalorians are kind of crazy about their jetpacks, aren't they? Also, I learned something in Rebels Recon that Boba Fett was actually part of the Imperial Super Commandos, apparently. Also, quick note, go check out Rebels Recon. Andy in the Star Wars show, also check that out, Andy Gutierrez, the host, actually had some Mandalorian armor made for her, and it looks amazing. It is so cool. So go check out Rebels Recon and the Star Wars show. Anyway, it's a really cool episode, and while they didn't tell us who Sabine's mom was, they did drop some more hints, including the fact that Sabine's mom is still in control of Death Watch, aka the Imperial Commandos, and that they believe that Sabine has totally abandoned her fate, is totally a traitor, and has given up everything. Yeah, right. Sabine is fighting for something bigger than that they are, and she knows that there's a bigger fight out there, and you don't have to sacrifice everything, pawns, to get ahead. You can still have friends and be true to yourself. Also, Ezra wins the award for just being Ezra. He actually says, my favorite line comes from Ezra at the end, and he says it a couple times throughout the episode, basically paraphrasing it. Mandalorians are crazy. Yes, they are. They're cool, but they are crazy, okay? I mean, seriously, they are crazy. Especially when Sabine's like, at the start of the episode, she goes, too bad my people can't stop fighting each other. And I'm like, wow. And Ezra's like, and then at the end, he goes, Mandalorians are crazy. I'm like, yeah, but they're so cool, but they're crazy. But they're so cool. So Ezra wins that award. I have also come up with a new phrase in honor of Ezra. I came up with the phrase last night while watching the show, which I am calling pulling an Anakin. You might be going, am I nuts? Maybe a little. I came up with this phrase because prior to watching last night's episode, I was watching the Clone Wars movie from 2008 to help me with a fan fiction I am currently going to outline today, which is basically a rewrite of that movie. And, of course, in one of those scenes, Anakin, to help fight a battle and turn the tide, jumps onto, I think they're the Octo-Terra droids. I'm not sure. They're the droids in the Separatist Army. Jumps on top of them and then proceeds to slice and dice them. And he does it later when he jumps on a battle droid who's on like an air speeder, airhawk or something. And he does it. And I'm like, okay. And then I watch Rebels. And what do I see Ezra do? I see Ezra jump onto a Mandalorian. As soon as I see that, I go, wow, he pulled an Anakin. So I have a new phrase for whenever Ezra does something crazy, out of the box insane, Ezra has pulled an Anakin. And that goes for anybody who does anything crazy, insane, okay? I'm just seeing something like that, I'm going, wow. What else is on that holocron that Kanan has, okay? If Ezra knew how to do that, seriously, what else is on there? I want to see. But it was really cool and awesome. And of course, new phrase, Ezra pulled an Anakin. Next week's episode is entitled Iron Squadron, and as Zeb says, they are going to be dealing with a whole ship full of Ezras. Shoot. It's going to be an interesting episode if they're dealing with a whole bunch of kids just like Ezra. Oh, they are in so much trouble. Anyway, that is today's Missing Girl Pop Culture News. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to please like, comment, or subscribe. Just hit those little buttons below and let me know how you think. I'm really hoping eventually I get enough viewers that I can definitely do a questions and answers show about anything you guys want me to talk about. I've also been debating for a few weeks about whether or not I should end this vlog because I really feel like I'm not getting a lot. I feel like I had more viewers in the past than what I have now. So I might give it a few weeks, and if I don't see my viewership go up, I might just limit these videos to reactions and like slideshows of adventures and stuff. So, but yeah, so let me know what you guys think I should do. Should I go back to just doing the Rebels recap, or should I go back, keep doing the PCN, or should I go do Rebels recap with like personal vlogs and stuff like that? So, I'm leaving it up to you guys. If I don't have any answers, I'm starting to think that maybe after New Year's, I will definitely just go back to reaction videos and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think. I'm leaving this decision up in your hands. So once again, thanks for watching. I will be back next Sunday for another edition of Mission Girl Pop Culture News, along with my personal reaction to the election. Hopefully, we get the right person for the job, and we won't be overworked. So thanks for watching, guys. I will be back next Sunday. I hope you guys all stay safe and sane this week. And start counting down. Christmas is coming, and I already got some Christmas stuff to get done. So, that's right. So, I'm out of here, guys. I'll check you later. Have a great week. And as always, may the Force be with you.